What's going on, everybody? Victor here. Welcome back to another project update. First of all, just as always, I really want to keep them quickly and short-lived so that everybody can actually watch them. So we will be focusing on 5 major points today. The first one will be the updates on the next stage, which is the Vale stage. Then we will be talking about the next stage after that of the development, which is the baldur. We will also be talking about the liquidity pool, some updates that we want to share with you, or that HIPS wants to share with the MTO community. And I will also want to give my opinion about the recent updates and events that has been happening, because I know there have been a lot of fear, uncertainty and doubt moving around the whole crypto market. And I want to actually share with you and give you the perspective that how we at MTO feel of what's going on around the crypto market. So without further ado, let's just jump straight away into that. So the first thing I want to discuss with you, as I was talking before, is the Vale update. As you can see here, the next stage, we are actually right now working with the MVP, which is simply a basic instrument of just kind of like having basic functionalities for what we are actually developing. The next stage would be an early alpha, which is going to be basically the same. It will just have a lot more functionalities, and in a second I will actually just jump into that. And then the next stage will be baldur, which will be an early alpha with extended functionalities. In the meantime, that I will be actually talking about what we're working. You can see here on this side basically the wallet that we are actually developing. There is a video, so if you can want to have a look into that. So in the meantime, what is the Vale and the early alpha version? So what are we building right now is an ecosystem. The ecosystem is comprehensive of 3 major things. The first one is the MPGW, which stands for basically Merchant Protocol Gateway, and is what will allow people or anybody to actually make payments using cryptocurrencies and have the consumer protection that we are striving for to bring to this market. Then we will have a wallet which will allow people to actually, or consumers and merchants, to use that consumer protection and the ecosystem that I was talking about, sorry, the MPGW that I was talking about, and to make payments. Basically, that's what the wallet is. That's what this wallet that you're actually seeing in the video is. And also, we will have our own blockchain, which is basically where all the ecosystem will be built upon, or will be running onto. As I have said before, the blockchain will be the last one to be built because we want to be able to get and to start building the blockchain when we have as much progress as possible, so that we are starting basically with all the progress that happens daily on blockchains. We will have a good head start on everybody. So where are we at with that? Just bear in mind, I will not be able to play the whole video of the wallet. If you want to actually go and have a look into that, we will be putting the link in the description for you to go and check it out. So anyway, where are we at the moment? We are, and I'm really excited to actually share this news with you, that the Vale stage is complete. Our developers have completely moved on, and they are not touching anymore the Vale stage of development. So we have everything ready to be released. It has actually been ready for a couple of weeks already. What we're trying to do, however, as we have always said, is we're trying to get ahead of the competition. Bear in mind that when we release a stage, we release a lot of information, including the source code. So basically, someone that, or a competitor that is trying to copy us, they could just go get the source code and have a net advantage over us if we were to release everything and where we are so far. So instead, what we're trying to do, we have our developers already working on the baldur, and once we are, or once they tell us that they are confident enough to be far ahead in the development on the next stage is when we will go on and say, okay, now we can give the community and now we can make public all the advancements and all the source codes that we have done on the Vale stage. Bear in mind that the Vale stage is still going to be an early alpha, so there will be no user interface. It's still going to look the same way it looked before. We are not focused right now on making it look nice. We are focused right now on functionalities and making sure that that will work. However, you will see a ton more functionalities than what you have seen with the previous stage, which was the Heimdall. The next stage, which is the Baldur, it is actually going to be the same early alpha with an extended functionalities, which brings me to my next point, which is Baldur itself. As you can see here, we were expecting to be releasing Vale in 2022, which we will be releasing it. It is literally just a few weeks ahead, and soon we will be communicating the date on which we'll be releasing it. Bear in mind that we will not make a huge announcement. Will not make a huge big deal about this, because again, it is just an early alpha. We want the most loyal community members to test it. We want you to go and check it out, but we don't want to make a big splash about it. It will be completely not what we are actually looking for, and not what we are aiming for to make a splash right now. And with the current market, it just doesn't make sense. So what we will be doing instead is just going to be a live stream like this one. However, John, our CEO, and Axel, our COO, and maybe some other core team members will be joining me for us to kind of like have a chat about it. And as usual, like happened with the previous release, stage release, we might be recording part of it and then playing it to you, just to avoid any, complications or any technical issues during a live stream. Just because we want to share the information. We don't want to have to deal with technical issues at that time. So just for you to know, there will be the part that will be live streamed, completely live with John and Axel, but we will also have some parts that will be recorded for you to see. So moving on with that, the next stage, Baldur, which is an early alpha with extended functionalities. Unfortunately, we will not be able to deliver it on 2022. So this will be postponed to 2023. So far, the plan is to postpone it on early 2023. However, that might change. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, as you can see here, we have two stages that are very, very similar to what we will be releasing. There will be no major changes at the moment. However, with what is going on, and that's actually the reason why we were so keen into pushing two stages at the same time, is because nobody knew what was going to happen with the crypto market. But with what is going on right now, that everything is trending down, and we are literally in the middle of the bear market, and nobody actually knows what's going to happen. We might, depending on certain factors, we could be changing this. And again, I don't right now. So far, you need to follow what is written on the website, which is will be released an early alpha with extended functionalities. However, we could, and we are open to change that and add more functionalities, something else, maybe develop even further that stage, so that the next stage that will be released, or the Baldur stage, when it will be released, it will be a lot more consistent than that, and you yourself will see a lot more progress rather than just having extended functionalities. But again, we will definitely share that information with you, and it will come definitely early 2023 at this point. We are still on track, however, with the temporary test network, which is coming in 2023. So we are still on track on that. And the reason why I can say that with a certain amount of confidence is because those two developments are completely separate. So as I was saying at the beginning, the blockchain it is where the ecosystem will be built upon. However, it doesn't have, it is not the fundamentals that without the base of the blockchain cannot run. Right now, the ecosystem will be running on ERC20, which is Ethereum, but we will be building our blockchain separate. And I also am happy to say that we have actually started the development of the blockchain. So that's why having, for instance, a temporary test network, which again is not going to be a full blockchain, but just a temporary, for us to be able to integrate our alpha from the MPGW, it will be able to get us there and maybe have some trials in 2023. However, just bear in mind that and please understand that sometimes delays are very, very much possible. So on this is where are we at and where are we going. So stay tuned. In the next few days, or even like maybe a couple of weeks, we will definitely be releasing when we will be actually coming out with the Vale stage. So stay tuned for that. The next point that I wanted to share is basically talking about the liquidity pool on Uniswap. The reason why I'm talking about it is because we have had a lot of people asking why more liquidity was not added, and I can say that we have added liquidity back in November, and it was way more than enough for what we were trading. Recently, because of the price action, and there is a lot of math involved, which I'm not going to share with you right now, but recently, because of the price of Ethereum actually going down so much, the price range and the pair basically fell off the liquidity, even though there was still enough liquidity for that to be traded, because we do have two different liquidity pools, one which is the base one, and then we have this one, which is more targeted at certain price ranges. So this other liquidity, which as you can see here, there is more than enough liquidity for what is the trading volume in the last 24 hours. So we do have enough liquidity. So what we did, it was basically, we removed the liquidity, the secondary liquidity that was there, and we extended the range. So we did not add extra liquidity. The liquidity was there. Now, will that pump the price? Will that bring it down? This is not the reason why we are doing it. We did it just because some people were complaining that the price impact when they were trading was way too high. So just to give you an example and a quick, extremely quick understanding of how it works, basically with a low liquidity, if you try to buy, I don't know, a certain amount of tokens, what you could do is you could actually reduce those tokens. Actually, sorry, I'm actually going to be showing it to you here. So what you can do is you will have a price impact. So when you make a payment, let's say $1,000 worth of MTOs, and you try to buy maybe like 10,000 MTOs or 20,000 MTOs, you will actually be receiving less, because that transaction will actually impact the price of the token. But the more liquidity there is, the less the price impact there will be, and therefore the more tokens you will actually be able to buy at the current price. It's just, so it's not changing the price you're going to buy it for, it's not changing anything. But as you can see here, we do have enough liquidity on Uniswap, and you can actually see here that we have nearly 3.5 million MTOs within the liquidity of Uniswap, which is nearly 7% of the circulating supply, and is completely way more than enough. There is double basically what is on the centralized exchanges, as you can see here. So this is a great liquidity. So just for you, all of you who has been actually talking about the liquidity on MTO. Now, I do want to now discuss and move on to discuss on something that actually is a change of direction for what HIPS is actually trying to do. And I want to clarify that HIPS, even though it is the father company of MTO, what HIP does on their own is their company. So they can take certain decisions which are completely separate from MTO. So their decisions and what they're doing doesn't have, there is nothing involved with MTO as companies. So, however, it is extremely important because it is something that will eventually, or should absolutely, we hope that it will affect MTO in a very positive way. And the reason for that I want to actually share with you is, as you can see here, we have the deployer, which it holds over 33% of the tokens. Yes, there are some referrals still in there. Yes, these tokens will be divided between team members, as we have actually was shared actually during the ICO, so that will change. But HIPS itself is the biggest token holder of all, basically. So that means that HIPS as a company has it will be convenient for HIPS for if MTO were to be successful, because they will be the ones that will be making the biggest profit. So with that said, I want to basically share the really nice news that HIPS will be focusing, or will be switching focus from a more traditional payment, which is what they have been focusing right now. So their focus right now is to bring POS machines and basically connect merchants and customers with method of payments in a traditional way. They will be completely shifting into full crypto. And that is great, because so far the idea was to add crypto to their products and allow merchants to join the ecosystem. However, from now on, or well, not now, but it's gonna happen in the next few months, and it's a process that will take time. So it is nothing that it will be happening tomorrow or the day after. This could take months or even years for that to take action and to take place. And remember, the MTO ecosystem is not nearly ready yet. But what is interesting is that eventually HIPS will move into basically not forcing, but the base will be crypto. So we offer you crypto payments with a side of traditional payments. So that means that every merchant that will join, they will basically have automatically crypto payments automatically enabled to make payments. However, they will still be able to deactivate them, of course, in the terminals and everything, but ideally it will be automatically there, and that's how it will be solved. The reason why this is benefits for MTO, or beneficial for MTO, is because they will build their technology based on MTO, or MEO actually, blockchain. So everything that they will build on top of the ecosystem. Remember that MTO is a DAO, so it's going to be actually a decentralized organization, and that means that any community member, even yourself, you can go and make programs and run them on the MEO blockchain, and that's basically what HIPS is doing. HIPS has a separate entity, is just building something on top of the MEO blockchain that should bring extra volume, extra merchants, extra customers, and so on and so forth. So with that said, this is all the updates, and I really don't want to keep it further. If you want to stay here, it will be my opinions or our opinions as a merchant token on why we think what is actually going on recently with the size of what happened with FTX and every other centralized exchange that basically collapsed, why that is actually something that could benefit us. So I would just give it again, I would just try to keep it quickly, because I don't want to get this video going too long. So just to kind of like just a quick reassume of what's happening. So if you haven't heard, FTX, which is basically, I think it has been the second centralized exchange out there, just behind Binance, and then before that there was 3x, and there have been so many that actually have been kind of like collapsing or blocking withdrawals, and even Blockify, for instance, have been all in the storm. And just recently there has been some rumors about crypto.com. So again, I don't want to go into the details on what's happening. I'm just kind of like stating the facts on what's going on and what's basically in people's mind. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because I have had a lot of community members concerned of how that will impact MTO's development, and most importantly, MTO's acceptance and adoption. And I want to clarify that we are lucky because during the ICO, we managed to raise enough funds for us to be able to develop the whole ecosystem that we're trying to develop. So that means that we do not rely like other projects, that they rely on the price of their tokens for them to be able to actually build the ecosystem or the technology that they're trying to build. If the price of the token or BTC or any other crypto goes down even to zero, we will still be able to keep pushing forward. And then once we are ready to be the development is done, then we can bring it up out to the community and to the public in general. Of course, will getting or a lack of trust in the crypto market, will that affect adoption? Yes, it could, of course. This is something that could affect every other project out there. But I do want to, as a person who has survived 2017 and the last, basically the last bear market, it all came out. Remember that everything came out from a massive bubble of Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin is going to take over the world. From Bitcoin, when it collapsed, everybody was against crypto in general. But then Ethereum and all the other projects out there came out, which were extremely successful in the last bull run last year. And then, of course, it is just normal that if everything collapses, people will go back to panic again. However, we believe that there will be another bull run because we believe that merchant token and cryptocurrencies in general are the future. However, something that really actually benefits in this case, the collapse that is happening right now, because the recent one, the most recent ones, has been happening due to lack of transparency and due to lack of well kept, basically well run. It's not being run properly. All these very big centralized exchanges, which are becoming so massive that they are basically becoming the same as banks. And the whole reason why crypto in general, Bitcoin, was created was to skip banks and skip centralized organizations that can control your funds. So if that's what Bitcoin and crypto in general was created for, why these centralized exchanges are thriving so much? And if there is a lack of trust into those exchanges and a project like Merchant Token comes out with a stable and well-built ecosystem, that it will be easy to use even for customers and for people that are not very savvy for what it comes on to crypto in general and everything else. And most importantly, that will accept every single cryptocurrency out there that want to migrate and operate on our ecosystem, because that's basically what we're trying to build here. Then that should give the final blow to what is centralized exchanges, which again, I myself have used centralized exchanges, and those are really nice to use and they are comfortable, but they are becoming way too big for us, for the cryptocurrency world in general. I still believe in the future centralized exchange will play a key role, mostly to be able to speed up certain processes and certain transactions. However, I do believe that eventually decentralization will take over, and this is the reason why we here at MTO are actually building that. So what we hope for is that people will actually, on the next bull run, when that will happen, and if we of course believe it will happen, but on the next bull run, people will start shifting more into decentralized projects with strong built ecosystems rather than centralized projects like FTX and others out there as well. So with that said, I really wanted to kind of like give you that kind of like boost on confidence on the project to avoid that FUD that has been around the whole crypto market, because this is not just affecting MTO, it's affecting everybody out there. So thank you so much for watching. And again, all the links will be in the description below. If you don't speak English very well, we will actually be posting a very resume kind of like transcription of this video. We will only be focusing on the main points, not my opinions, and I will be putting it down in the description, and we will be posting actually on the official website, so you can actually go and have a look into that and maybe translate it and work on that. In the meantime, stay tuned. In the next few days, we will be posting, we will be tweeting about when will be the next stage unveil, so stay tuned. Thank you so much and have a good day.